Okay, I'm here with Grandma Frances Melle, and we are going to document the history of her life. Today's date is April the 8th, 2006, and Grandma is going to be 92 years old soon.
In May.
In May. When's your birthday?
May the 12th.
May the 12th, that's
I
right.
was born 1914.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to start off. We would like to know something about your family history, how the Ereths came to immigrate to Canada and then to America. So where in Europe were they born, your parents? And what are your parents' names?
My father's name is Jacob Ereth,
Uh-huh.
and my mother's name is Rosa Fendrick
Rosa Fendrick. And they were born where?
in Romania.
Romania. Okay, then you said they were born in a German community in Romania?
Well, they were in a German community where everybody spoke German, but they came from Romania.
Okay. And then, let's see, now what about Vanka's parents? Were they also born in Romania?
Yes.
They were. And what were his parents' names?
Jacob and Julia Ereth.
Okay, and Vanka's parents' names were?
Jacob Ereth and Grandma Ereth was Julia. I don't know.
Don't remember. Okay.
Can't remember now.
Okay, so they left Europe because of the war.
Just Dad left.
Just your dad left Europe. Okay.
Dad and Tony Melle and Casimir Melle and Anton Kust.
Okay.
And they came to Canada someplace, but I don't know the name of the town. And from there, where they landed, they went to Estevan, Saskatchewan. And there they all worked in a brick factory.
Wow.
And then a year later, Dad met my mother, Rosa Fenrich, and they were married, and they lived in Estevan.
So now, how did Rosa come to Canada?
Well,
Did
she came on a ship too, but I don't know.
Don't know the story?
They didn't come the same time.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then they got married, and do you know how old your parents were when they got married?
Mother wasn't quite 15, and Dad was 21.
Wow. Okay, so they got married, and then
They lived in Estevan.
they lived in
And
Estevan.
that's where Dad worked.
Okay. And then once they got married, did they have a home of their own?
Rented.
They rented, okay.
Yeah. And then there they had 3 children, Clara, Julia, Tony.
Uh-huh.
And then that was where they found out that they could get, I don't know, I think it was about 300 acres of land if they moved to Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And that was called the Northwest Territory.
Territory. Oh.
Then.
Okay.
And so they moved. There was lots of hardships.
Yeah.
And Dad built a 2-room house. And that's where we lived. That's where I was born.
You were born, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And that was called what? Saskatchewan?
Burkefield, Saskatchewan.
Brookfield, Saskatchewan, huh? So they were given the free land if they built a house on it and farmed it and worked the land. So they were pioneers.
Yes.
Right. Okay, and then on their farm, what did they grow?
What did they grow? They grew wheat and oats.
Wheat and oats.
And they had a garden.
Uh-huh. So did they grow most of their own food?
Well, just a garden food is
Yeah, and then
vegetables.
so when they needed supplies and stuff from the store.
They came to, drove to the United States right across the border about 8 miles south.
Uh-huh.
And that's where they did their grocery shopping and bought their clothes and things.
Okay. So, and then what about Grandpa's parents? Where were they at that time? Were they already in America? Bunka's parents?
No,
No?
they didn't come to America. Grandpa's parents.
Oh, they didn't?
His 2 brothers came later on, but a lot later.
Oh, okay. So then how is it that your parents came to move to America? Why did they leave Canada?
They left Canada because there was no school. There was only school in the, from May until December.
Uh-huh.
And then there was no more school until the next May.
Okay, so they did it for you kids.
Yes, so there wasn't enough schooling for us children, so they moved to the States.
So now how many kids were living in the 2-bedroom house in Canada before you left to come to America?
Clara, Julia, Tony, hi, Jake, Louis, Joe, Frank. Frank was a baby. 8 of us.
Wow.
And we moved.
8. Is that 8
8.
including your parents?
No,
Wow, so there were actually 10 of you in the house.
so there was 10. And
Wow. And then your mom, you said it was really hard. It was a hard life in Canada and the weather was very cold.
in the winter, the weather was cold. The summers were beautiful, but the winters were hard. Lots of snow and really cold.
So what was it like for your mother to have all those children and and be a pioneer woman? What was her
Well,
workload
they
and
just didn't know any better. Everybody else was the same,
Yeah.
and was hard, awfully hard.
So did your parents have to dig a well and carry their own water and
Yes,
They did.
yes. And folks had cattle and horses. That's the only way they traveled was with horses when they first came to Canada.
Uh-huh.
In the summer, in a buggy, and in the winter, a sleigh.
Wow. That's kind of neat. And then what about doing laundry and how did you wash
Oh.
your clothes?
Mother used a tub and a washboard.
Oh my gosh. And did you kids help her with the laundry?
No, there wasn't any of them old enough to help.
Wow.
She'd hang them out, and in the winter they'd freeze stiff.
Oh my gosh. So, what was I going to ask you? Oh, about all the kids. You said she got married when she was almost 15. When did she first start having children? What age was she?
What?
What age was she when she had her first child?
I imagine 16.
Wow. So she was really young.
Yes.
Okay, so then they came to the States.
Yeah, but they came to the States in 1920. Moved to the States in 1923.
Okay, and then did they become U.S. citizens immediately?
They didn't come United States citizens until about, I don't know, but I'd say maybe 2 years later or so.
Now,
It's been a long time.
wasn't Bunka's family already here in the States?
Yes, they came to the States in 1921.
In 21. And then you lived pretty close to them, didn't you?
About 4 miles, I'd say. I don't know.
And so, ultimately, how many kids were in your family? How many children did your mother have?
12.
12 children. And in Bunka's family, there were how many kids?
Well, there was a lot of them that didn't live babies. They had, let's see, Celia, Lena, Frank, Tony, Louis, Peter, and Fred. They had 7 children.
Oh, 7. Okay, so they had a lot less. And then your two families knew each other because they were neighbors.
Neighbors all their life. Dad and Louis' folks were neighbors in Romania.
Oh, in Romania too. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take a little break here and we're going to come right back.
Yeah, you can ask different things now.